Bashim Yahawashai. Bashim Regadadash. The water Yahweh. Water Yahweh. Bashim Yahawashai. Shlaki Yahweh. For my sins as I cry. Baba Yahweh. For upon every time. Kolo Yahweh. Vashim Yahushai. Shalom, shalom. It's your brother, Obadiah Yahweh. And of course, I'm here. And, you know, the way the Most High works, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the way he operates is the way he operates. And when he's got me to bring it out, I got to bring it out. Got to bring it out, got to bring it out. Bring out the lesson. And, you know, it's quite interesting because it's more than interesting for the most part, because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is beyond what we are expecting. I mean, it's just with almost without words. It's like you just don't know what to think and what to say, because as things go, you don't have any control. You don't have any power or control over any kind of situation that's really going on, you know? And it's just amazing when he wells up the spirit in me to get a lesson out. And he pounds on me pretty heavy about it. And I understand, and at least I try to understand and try to bring the edification forward for the selected, elected, first and foremost, you know. And that's just the nature of the way the situation goes. But you know, hey, we just, like I said, I have to be patient, and when Yahweh Shimon Shai says, all right, here it is. This is what I need you to relate. Bring this out. Relate it. Say it the way I want you to say it. Don't try to come up with your own way of saying anything. Just say it the way I want you to say it, and get it out in that fashion. And I have no recourse but to just do that, because he controls absolutely everything, always and at all times. So that's just a measure of the way the situation is. But let's get started here. First and foremost, I want to give my utmost admiration and respect and salutations to the very hopeful elect, and especially, you know, the brethren, the apostles that have been doing this work, been diligently bringing it out day in and day out, week in and week out, year in and year out. And clearly they are the men who were granted the first anointment of introduction to bring the accuracy of the truth out in the capacity that they have, along with guiding and bringing forth the elders, the bishops and the elders that are following suit. So I want to give them a very respectful shalom and a salutation of admiration to them for that factor, for what they're bringing out. And this is where we are, and here are things in this way, in this direction we're going in. The lesson for today, Father finally tapped me up, beat me up. I mean, I remember when Apostle Gabar was saying, if you're not getting your ass kicked in this truth, then something's wrong. But the chastisement is going to be and always will be well received. I will not have any complaints about how Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is tearing my ass up in terms of making me make sure I get this out and get it in the way that I should. And I'm not going to complain about that at all. The title for the lesson is Yahawah's Foundational Love Only for the Selected, Elected, his chosen people, right? And of course, and his chosen people, Shalaki. Right. Yahawah Bashim Yahweh Shai, of course, Yahawah's foundational love only for the selected, elected, and his chosen people. That's it. Let's make sure we completely understand that in great confidence and great exhortation, that this Bible, this Torah, was only given to and brought forth to be presented to and only to be recovered through Yahweh Shai, sent by the Father for the Israelites only. No other nations are included in this process or in this information or in this way that things are going to go. They're just not included. I want to start off with a lead scripture. And, normally I get right into my commentary, and I will. But this lead scripture kind of I'm going to bring up, he's going to allow me to tie everything in with this particular scripture. And it's in Psalms. I want you to go to Psalms 89 for this particular scripture. Okay, so you're going to go to Psalms 89. And I've got 14. And it says, of course, the righteousness, of course, is what we're speaking about, the Father's righteousness, okay, the love at the level that he's giving us, right, which is his justice. Justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne. Say that part again. Justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne, right? Thy throne. Mercy and truth shall go before thy face. Now, basically what Father is saying is righteousness and justice are the foundation, okay? That's it, the foundation of your throne, meaning his throne. Faithful, love, truth goeth before you. Now, of course, that's another portion of the translation that brings the same truth out. And that's what we're talking about now. We're going to talk about Yahawah's foundational love. Now, we should know in many different ways, and I'm going to bring out a multitude of precepts and scriptures that line up with the fact that we got to understand the foundational love that the Father has, that he's set forth in his complete control of everything that is going to be, that is already predetermined to take place and to happen. And his word cannot come back void, and we know that. And I think that this is something that we really need to pay close attention to, specifically speaking to the very selected, elected, hopeful selected, elected that are out there. All those others that are listening and receiving this information, maybe you are entitled to that particular part of the process of prophecy and salvation. Well, we only know. But let me start off by just a little bit of commentary about this before I break into the scriptures and more heavily. But, this is important. Yahawah Bashim Yahweh Shai has been beating me up quite frequently about the fact that we don't show the Father the level of love that he has shown us in terms of the way that he expressed his level of love that he created us, our spirits, under. I don't know that it could be imagined or clearly understood that each one of us has been fearfully and wonderfully created. And when we say fearfully and wonderfully created, we're not just talking about the flesh. We're talking more about the spirit, because you're going to live, especially Israel, okay? Because we're going to go to Romans 11 and talk about the fact that, all Israel will be saved. And I was listening to a lesson that the brothers were doing out of Chicago, Elder Malcolm in his camp out there. And they were talking about the fact that there were some people who talked about YOLO in their lifestyle, of course, and who's in favor of doing that more than Esau, Edom, than anyone else. But there's other people that are of our possibly and more likely of our particular people, of the tribes, 12 tribes, of various different sects of the tribes, and they have a YOLO spirit as well. But that's that's an error, because you do come back. And Esau, as they said, Esau comes back. He gets regenerated back here, and a lot of those that were here in prior times are back now, and we clearly see that, and we clearly know that's the case when we talk about how we experience and interact with Jakeettes and what have you. But I'm not going to lean on that too much. I want to get to the point here, and the point is that the Father showed all of Israel a measure of love that I don't believe we can truly comprehend under his ultimate control of all creation. And foundationally, we don't operate in a fashion to show him that level of respect that he's really looking forward to us showing him. Now we're getting there, and this brings me to the point about, we all have to go through this flesh life, and going through this flesh life, we tend to take the limited time that we're here, because we're blocked from the times that we were here before when our spirit was sent here, and we take that limited time and we spend a tremendous amount of time, what I would say, we're wallowing in the realms of carnality that are dealing with the areas of what you surmise or understand to be your path to your destiny and salvation, and you do a lot of blending and mixing of what you believe the understanding is at the level you can receive it, because you do. You talk about things that your carnal mindset and flesh has desire for, and then pursues it in many ways, not only in your mind, but you pursue it in the flesh as well, towards the way that you move in your lifestyle. Okay, and so what you're doing, and when you become exposed to, when the Father awakens you to the truth through his process, if you are destined to have that happen, of course, always predestined is the case, then now you have to go through the clue process of deciphering what it is that you're supposed to do. Okay, what it is that you're supposed to do. I'm always kind of weird with my hands, so just forgive me when I'm talking. You kind of try to figure out what you're going to do. You're saying to yourself, okay, am I operating between the spiritual understanding and revelation that I've received once I've been awakened by YAHAWAH'S, or am I operating in a carnal, fallen state capacity and trying to marry up all of my understanding and then do the work that the Father has, YAHAWAH'S, has put me forth to do? Is this what I'm doing? And that brings me to akin of the Father saying, explain that he needs us to stop miscommunicating the carnal application of prophecy with the spiritual process of delivering the truth. Okay, let me say it again, because I did write it down, because I had to make sure I had it right. YAHAWAH'S would like for us to stop miscommunicating the carnal application of prophecy with the spiritual process of delivering the truth. What does that mean? I mean, a lot of people are like, what in the world are you talking about? Well, how can we stop miscommunicating the carnal application of prophecy? Well, clearly prophecy is alive. Prophecy is a living thing. So being that it's a living thing, that the way that the Father set it in motion, and it's been predetermined from the beginning to the end, and nothing's left out in the middle. No, none of his word or his actions will come back void. So therefore, no one and nothing will change prophecy. No, not Yahawashi, not the angels. Just like in the case where foundationally, if you go back and you understand, Yahweh said that when the end is manifest, Yahawashi doesn't even know when that end when he'll be sent back will be manifest. Nothing and no creation in heaven that the Creator invented and brought forth into existence, and then of course had Yahawashi and the angels manage and then make for him, manufacture. They don't know when the end is going to be done. So there's a level, a higher level of spiritual blockage that's on all creation. Okay, so when you know this foundationally, when this actually pricks your spirit and gets you to the point where you actually have the understanding that that level of control is already predestined and determined. Every single thing and every single creation and every single one is already predetermined, the outcome. It's already done. Okay, so you say, well, then that kind of messes me up, so then why do I need to do anything? Don't be that retarded and spiritually ignorant, okay? Why you still have to perform is not because everything's been predetermined and you've been given that level of understanding. It's because the process that is moving forward has to have what level of participation you add to it, or you wouldn't be here to do it. You hear that? It has to add to it or you wouldn't be here to do it. So you can't just say, well, I can just do whatever I want. No, you can't, because all of what you will do has been predetermined. And you got to understand that that's why when Yahweh Bashim Yahushai said, stop miscommunicating the carnal application of prophecy. How do we do this? Well, if you're complaining, I've said this over and over again, the Father keeps pounding on me about this to tell the elect over and over again. If you have some similitude of complaint that you saying what? I hate Jake, right? You hear this a lot. I hate Jake. I hate the way Jake is. I hate niggas. I hate the way they act. I hate the way they are. I hate Jakettes. I hate nigga women. If you have a problem with the way the Father is shutting down this system and taking us to salvation through the entire prophecy process, then you're miscommunicating the carnal application of prophecy. Why are you miscommunicating? Because if you're bitching about how the Father's taking this world system down, then aren't you complaining about what he's doing and how he's doing it? No, you know, one said you had to fall in love with the fact that we have to go through trials and tribulation and Jacob's trouble on the rise. But the point is, wouldn't it serve better to the higher love of the Father to say, you know what? I'll grin and bear it, and I'll love you, and I'll give you all the love that you can muster out of my spirit, that you got me predestined to do this work. And I'm not going to cry and complain about how seriously screwed up Jake and Jakettes and the world and Edomites and everything it is, because this is your plan to get us out of here. Okay? So, you can't be, you can't be spiritually double-minded. You can't bitch and complain about how much you hate Jake, about how much you hate what Jake in the truth, Jake that's an Israelite in the truth or not is. You can't continue to bitch and moan about how the Father's doing what he's doing to him, because he's doing it to him. He's doing it to all of us. The Father is taking us all through this process to get us out of here. So if you bitch and moan about how he's doing it, aren't you bitching and moaning at him about his process? Let's take it down where the rubber meets the road. Let's spiritually, logically understand it. He controls everything on all sides at all times. So I was listening to Apostle Gabar when he was saying the LOTV belongs to him. Apostle Hall was telling him that the LOT belongs to the Father. He already knows who's going to take it and who's going to get it and who's not. It's already been determined. How can you dare think in your mind and come out your mouth and say that he is in control and knows all things? How can you not know that? So if you know this is what he's doing, then why bitch about it? Why don't you get on board and say, you know what, Father, Shalom, Father, thank you for cluing me in, letting me pick up the clues that you're controlling everything that's going on, and because you've given me the eye salve to see and understand you're controlling everything that's going on, so I ain't going to bitch about how you taking stuff down, because I want to get out of here, and if I bitch that I don't like it, or I don't like anything you're doing, then what? You want him to stop doing it so we have to stay here longer? Which is it? Pick up. Come on. Really? Determine this day who you will serve. Are you going to serve the program and the plan that YAHAWAH'S set forth for us to get out of here? Or are you going to bitch and complain that you don't like the way it's going down and he's doing everything? Which position do you stand on? Which is it? See, this is why it becomes, and he's saying, stop miscommunicating the carnal application of prophecy with the spiritual process of delivering the truth. This is what you're doing. You're blending the carnal process that has to be taken down. You're taking stuff that's happening here in this flesh, in this carnal capacity, that the prophecy is moving forward with the spiritual power of YAHAWAH'S, and you're getting pissed off at the way it's happening because you bitch about it, and then what that ends up doing is you end up causing some confusion with individuals who don't understand the process of delivering that truth. And this is what you cause. And that's it seems very spiritually double-minded. We got to go through all this, and it's got to get worse and worse. So what? Is your level of bitching going to get worse because the Father's making it worse? Is this where we're going? You're going to complain so damn much about how he's taking everything down instead of joyfully thanking and praising and worshiping and praising and worshiping and praising and worshiping along with prayer that he's doing it and get us out of here as quickly as it's coming. Now, if this upsets your apple cart and you say, well, if I don't bitch, moan, and complain, then I don't have any lessons to do. Well, too bad. Why don't you wait then that he gives you something to do then? I mean, he makes me very patient. He tells me, he said, Obadiah, sit your ass down, shut up, be my observer, check out what's going on, and when I'm ready to well the spirit up in you to do a lesson, then you will go get that lesson out, like right now. I mean, don't think I don't feel like, yeah, I want to jump up and just go after a fucking current event. Yeah, I see it too, just like anybody else. But it takes discipline and obedience to wait on YAHAWAH'S, as you always say you're supposed to do anyway, until he gives you what he needs for you to get out that's going to edify and deliver some directives and derivatives of truth that will not be in a position of miscommunicating carnal applications of prophecy. Because when you turn around and you bitch about how he's taking everything down, but then at the same time, you're delivering a very good lesson in terms of what particular prophecies from the past are being related to the new and to what's new to what we can understand or what is being revealed, that's fine. But you know what? Pick one. Are you going to bitch and moan, and which one are you going to do? Really got to get it. You really got to get on board with that. You know, because what? The love of the Father has to stand above all things he created first. The love of the Father has to stand above all things he created in all creation first. The love of the Father has. That's why in the commandments, the first two have to deal with what? You can't have no God before the Father at all in any capacity. And you can't have no image or put nothing before him. That includes anything in creation he invented and had Yahawashi and the angels put together. And when you deviate away from this and you start saying, well, we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, or we're going to do this, and it don't mirror the Mashiach, then what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you in line? I said this before. Take a I don't know, a pad or some paper, make a line down the middle. Cross up, put a line across the top. Okay? Put mirror the Mashiach. Mirror Yahawashi HaMashiach at the top. Or am I mirroring the Mashiach Yahawashi at the top? And then on one side of it and on the other side of it, put everything down that you're doing, and put everything down that you know that Yahawashi said to do or doing, and see if your shit matches up. Don't be delusional. Don't be confusional and delusional. See if your stuff matches up on each side. Okay, on this side where you write whatever, on the right side or the left side you write whatever, and you say, okay, I'm going to say this and do this about our people, about our women, about our brothers, and then what does the Mashiach say on the other side of it? Doesn't match up with what you put there. Doesn't match up. All the way down to your activities. Do it match. You say you serving and love Yahweh through Yahawashi, like the prayer is supposed to go, right? Is this what you say? Okay, so if that's true, then that whole list should follow suit to show the highest love that you could give to the Father, which is the first love. Because he's the anchor of all power. And if you ain't coming off this truth foundationally by making sure that you stay in line with what? First and foremost, you got to be saying and knowing and bringing out the sacred name Yahweh, Bashem Yahawashi, before you. If you come out your mouth with anything else than that, then you are not in line with your Mashiach. You're not. And you're spiritually blocked from the truth. And it doesn't even matter if you can see the truth because you're not in it. You're not. Because you have the audacity and you don't have the reverence and the fear to respect the fact that you got to give the sacred name only when you're giving information. Oh, it's too hard. I got to say JC because they'll know what I'm talking about. The hell with that. You can teach them the sacred name and still throw that bullshit byword out there. It's a lack of discipline and obedience. That's what it is. Because you really don't love Yahweh enough. Because if you're willing to keep on saying them stupid ass bywords that they put in there that make you an abomination in the mouth and in the eyes and in the ears of Yahweh, then that's what you are. That's what you are. Simple as that. That's why the lesson is Yahweh's foundational love only for the selected, elected, and his chosen people. This ain't for nobody else on the entire face of the earth other than them. But our righteousness is no righteousness. Our justice is no justice. And our foundational understanding is almost non-existent when it comes to Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. And yes, you gotta have a spiritual rant because you know why? You're stiff-necked. We're stiff-necked people. We're sottish and stiff-necked people. Forehead of flint, as Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi says. Okay? This is where we are. And it's just disgusting that you don't want to pick up the clues and get to the point where you could actually serve the Father, and then at some point he probably might take the spiritual blockage off your brain, off your mind, and let you understand how much he really loves you. I mean, come on, the Most High himself, when he, even to the point that he did such an intricate design on your spirit in the fashion that he has done it. And then in line with that, when he incorporated the process onto the flesh for you, specifically, he went on ahead and did you such a solid, such a blessing that what did he do? He made even your fingerprints completely different with every single creation that he has, spirit and flesh. Nobody has the same fingerprints. How intricate and detailed is that? That's a small, intricate detail to him, but look how it is for you. Look how much of an identifier that he went ahead and showed that much blessing and love and grace to you. But you can't show him that much love and grace and blessing in return because you can't even stay foundational for less than 5 minutes. You can't even do it. You come out the starting gate acting like you're gonna be foundational because you give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Now, you're right there. You're in the midst of the foundational way to start presenting everything. But then you go away from that and you get lost in translation and you start doing what? You start speaking about prophecy correctly and teaching somewhat correctly, of course. But what do? You forget all about Yahweh in the process of continuing in the lesson. You don't even talk about him anymore. Now you talk about his son, but his son is getting all the power from the Father. So you're supposed to incorporate all of it. But if you got all the truth, give it all up then. Say the fact that the Most High and Yahawashi is doing everything to everyone at all times. And if he's bugging out the purple people leader, that's what he has to do because they're predetermined to do this. He was predetermined to go into what he's doing as a bugged out purple people band leader. And the same thing for the hat, backward hat wearing, front hat wearing, whatever you call him, Alizar, whatever, the same thing. He's supposed to do this. They got to do this stuff. This is what they've been scheduled to do as we get the hell out of here. They're going to do this. You ain't stopping them from doing this. No matter what you say about them, no how you say it, they have to do this because this is their lot. This is their lot. Just like this is my lot and that's your lot. This is what we got to do. Ain't no getting around it. You ain't stopping it. You can't change it. You can't conform it. You can inform, but you know what? Your information that you're giving is only going to rest on the selected elected. Everyone else is not scheduled at this time to receive this transmission. It's just that way. And when Yahweh Ba'ashem has decided to determine they're ready to receive it, only he controls that process. Nobody else. And if you can't get along with that and you want to bitch about it, don't get in my face. Don't ask me for shit. Go to the Father and get in his face about what you don't like, about how he's taking it all down. Do that. You big, bold brass. Y'all running your organizations. You flipping and flopping and flying all over the place. Go to the Father and tell him you don't like the way he's taking everything down because it upsets your little world. Your baby nuts is all in a bunch because you can't stand the fact that he's tearing this shit down in the way he is with the bug outs he's using and you don't like it. Too bad. I love it because I know we're getting out of here even faster. I absolutely adore it. I don't have a complaint about the way he's tearing things up. You know why? Because I can't do anything about it anyway. I'm going on the wave of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. I'm riding his wave of what he's doing. However he's doing it and whatever way he's twisting it. You know, think about this. I mean, it reminds me, I watched this TV show, a movie called Twister. Okay, and the thing about a tornado, if you notice, when a tornado is coming, you ain't nobody stopping it, number one. Number two, when it's rolling, when they call it the finger of God, when you get like a F5, or something like that. The finger of God, when that thing is turning and it's moving, it go wherever Father got it to go. And it's tearing up anything in its path. Very few things don't get tore up that's in its path. And I mean the bands of the tornado, and that's whether it's on the water or whether it's on the land. It's everything's getting pulled in and swirled around and tore up and spun and thrown place. It don't matter what it weighs or what it is. But you notice something about that tornado on the land or in the water. If you're right in the center of it, which they call the eye of the tornado, it's calm. It's very peaceful. No wind, no rain. You even look up through it and you see sunshine coming down through it when you're right in the center of the eye. But all around it, it's tearing every damn thing up and it's moving. And if you get close to one of the bands, you get pulled in and you get swirled around and you could be thrown 15 miles away. This is a similitude to prophecy. The prophetic bands of the Father's twister, his tornado, is tearing up everything. But where you want to be is in the eye of that situation. And everything else is getting tore up. How do you get to be in the eye of the tornado of prophecy, where it's calm and it's peaceful and you're protected? Because nothing can get through it to you unless Father lets it come in. And you notice that when you're in the eye, none of the things that are flying around on the inside of the bands or the outside of it are coming into the middle where the eye is. You notice that? What level of power and control are we looking at here? I don't think we really understand. How can you not want to praise, worship, and pray that the Father puts you in the safety, protection, and the understanding of the eye of the storm, right in the center of that tornado? Because you're not going to escape what happens with the bands. It's going to be a world level tornado, whirlwind. It's going to be tearing every damn thing up, and I can't wait. But I just praise, worship, and pray that he has me in mind in the eye of that tornado, that prophetic tornado. That's what I pray that will happen. And I'll be in good standing. But it takes understanding his foundational method and his foundational method of operation and how he operates. When are you going to pray without ceasing for that? Time to get into scripture. That was 38 minutes of railing, but if it's worth it, it's worth it. If it ain't worth it to you, then so what? Go somewhere else. Okay. We're going to start in Deuteronomy, because he loved your father so much and he can love you the same. Okay. YAHAWAH'S. Deuteronomy chapter 4. I'm going to go right there. Right? And I'm going to go all the way down to 37. Because we're going to talk, like I said, we're going to talk about how the Father is the highest love, because he created our spirits at the highest love level when he did it. And he's showing you that, and he just wants you to reciprocate, meaning give him back as best you can the same level of love that he did when he created your spirit that will live for eternity if you are one of the chosen of YAHAWAH'S, that will become sons and daughters of Yahweh after we finish with this process here in the carnal base of prophecy and application as Israelites. Because there'll be mementos and monuments of our past here as we graduated to regeneration in the kingdom as sons and daughters of Yahweh. But he wants you to give him back the love that he gave to your fathers, which he's training you for now. Don't be clueless. Pick up the clues. Let's read And it reads 30, 4:37. And because he loved thy fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them and brought thee out in his sight with his mighty power out of Egypt. Okay? And of course, you can see right there the one above it and the one below it, just because it's a good thing to do. 36, out of heaven he made thee to hear his voice. See that? He made that he might instruct thee, and upon earth he showed thee his great fire, and thou hardenest his words out of the midst, heardest, no hardest, heardest his words out of the midst of the fire. You heard his words. And on in 38, to drive out the nations from before thee, greater and mightier than thou art, to bring thee in to give thee their land for an inheritance, as it is this day. So the Most High is clearly letting you know that the love that he gave you, he wants that in return. We should be practicing Judges chapter 5:11 to give him that. Okay? All right, we're going to go from Deuteronomy 4. We're going to pop up to 7. I got a few in Deuteronomy before we pop on to something else. So just stay with me. Deuteronomy 7:7. Okay? Most of you already know this one, but hey, we're gonna get it. All right? And we're going to go 6 first and then give you 7, all right? Because I know all of y'all should already know 6. Deuteronomy chapter 7, and it reads verse 6, and then we'll get 7. For thou art a holy people unto Yahawah, thy power, and Yahawah thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. See, do you really love him enough to respect that and show that to him? Do you really know that? See, if he said in 6, all right, for thou art a holy people, a set apart people unto Yahawah, thy power, your power, the power Yahawah, thy power hath chosen thee, okay, to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Clearly, Yahweh is saying to you, he has this level of love that he created your spirit from the beginning in. All right? That's why Yahweh's foundational love is only for us, like the script, like the lesson's title says, and for the selected, elected, and his chosen people. Right? 7, Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number, because even though we are going to be and will be as the stars of heaven and the sand of the sea, than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. Now this is, of course, pertains to the part where I talk to you about the fact that we got to not misunderstand the carnal application of prophecy from the spiritual process of delivering the truth. Because what happens is, if we think, well, he said that we were few in number, but then he said that we'll be as the stars of heaven and the sand of the sea. Don't get it twisted. We're applying that whole process as we go through the timeline of the prophetic tribulation period. We're applying that process, right? All right. So, but again, 8. See, take that one just above that, and then this one here underneath it. But because Yahweh loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And you're scheduled for the same thing again in Jeremiah. We know that is because it speaks to that. Okay, so we got to stay focused and bring him his love in the fashion he asked for. Now, go to Deuteronomy 10 and give me 15, because that's my next precept. And it reads, only Yahweh had a delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. You see what I'm saying? And now we're going to pop over to Deuteronomy 33 to finish up my portions of Deuteronomy before we move on to the next precepts that we go to in Psalms, giving you a hint. Get ready to get over to Psalms after 33 and 3. Yea, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hand, and they sat down at thy feet. Every one shall receive of thy works. So the Most High is clearly letting you know that he is patiently waiting for you to pick up the clues that he's sending to you, the unction of the Ruach HaKodesh, right? Both sides, whether it's deja vu or unction, push, inspiration. You're getting the clues. Are you going to go ahead and solve them? What are you waiting for? Okay. We're not going to wait too long, but we're waiting. Psalms. We're going to start at Psalms 78, 68. We're going to hit a couple in Psalms, so be with me. He gave me quite a few to pop out of Psalms, so we're going to go right down the line a little bit. 78 and 68. And it reads, But choose the tribe of Judah, the Mount Zion, which he loved. See, there's so much that the Father wants to express and give to us, and he's been very patient, and he's very much being patient in treating us just like, you would treat your child that, is growing up and growing into becoming more knowledgeable and much more of a well brought up and trained child, and then young adult on into becoming an adult, and then becoming full grown as an adult. And he's very long suffering and patient towards us, which is very good. But that still accentuates his level of love for us, that he wants us to return that. And we clearly aren't doing a very good job if we're misconstruing the processes that are set in a fallen state here on this earth right now, and wanting and planning to have them incorporated, or lustfully wanting them to be incorporated, some of the attributes from this fallen state in the new covenant, in the new kingdom, which cannot play a role or place there. You cannot soil yourself with any heathens in any capacity in a new covenant, in a righteous, regenerated, spiritual body that has a mass to produce offspring. You will not pollute the body by putting yourself on any heathens in the new covenant, in the new kingdom. It's not possible. Father ain't going to do it. You will not lay down with pigs. You will not sleep with the help, with the slaves. No. Psalms 87 and verse 2. Yahweh loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. Why? Because this is what we'll be passing through to stay within and move all within and live all within through eternity. He's only cleaning up what's Israelite and on into the children, the sons and daughters of Yahweh. A Edomite will not be cleaned up and placed inside the temple walls and inside the borders of the new covenant. They are profane and they will stay outside of the temple, and that's where they will remain. Same thing for all the rest of the abominations that the Father claims are an abomination. Okay? Uh, let's validate that. Okay? It ain't hard to do. We'll go to the Apocrypha, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to 2nd Ezra, and we're going to go to 6. Okay? So go with me. 2nd Ezra 6. And of course, you know, I'm going to start at about 54. All right? Let's go. Ooh. Second Ezra 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of whom come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All these have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing but like unto spittle. Now, who wants to get down and make any kind of relational application with spittle? You tell me. And hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. But see, in the flesh right now here, in this spiritual fallen state, fleshly world, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, see, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. That's going to be over. And we ain't devoured by them in the new covenant. And we ain't touching these damn stinking ass devils. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands right now. But you still control how they deal with us. Most High, all praises, call hello YAHAWAH'S Yahushai. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? Question. How long shall this endure? Now, he's already told you how long, and we're going to break down more scripture about how long that it will endure, okay? But by the way, while we're still here, let's just go ahead and get another witness, because that's what we're supposed to do. So what we'll do is we'll go over here to Isaiah, because we can, right? And we'll go to verse 40. All right, go to Isaiah, go with me to verse 40, and then we'll pop on down here to 15, right? What does it say? Isaiah chapter 40, verse 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of a balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. Okay? And we'll get more, because judgment's coming, and we will bring in some scriptures on judgment. But let's get back to the Father's love, because that's where we are, and we're going to finish up. Now, we read Psalms 87:2. Now we're going to go and I want to hit Psalm 69. So go with me. Psalm 69 and 36. And it reads, The seed also of his servant shall inherit it, and they that love his name shall dwell therein. Now, the seed of his servant is still only pertaining to the scattered Israelites that are being brought back into the fold. See, wacky tackies and other individuals try to act like there's some universal application where they can be included or being brought into the fold, but they cannot. I've already read before in Second Ezra, you see that they're not going to be included because they're reputed to be less than, and we're not going to include them. They're not going to have that process. All right, go to Psalms chapter 70, and we're going to read 4. Let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee, and let such as love thy salvation say continually, let Yahweh be magnified, which is what we should be doing through praise, worship, and prayer all the time. Psalm 78. Go to 78. Psalms 78 and 8. And it reads, is his mercy clean gone forever? Question. Doeth his promise fail forevermore? No, never. 9. Hath Yahweh forgotten to be gracious? No. Hath he in anger shut up his tender mercies? Selah. No. He just needs you to pick up the clues, man. Be a clue finder and solver. Try it. You can do it. He gives you the power to do so. Psalms 85 and 7. Show us thy mercy, O Yahweh, and grant us thy salvation. 8. I will hear what my power, Yahweh, will speak. For he will speak peace unto his people and to his saints, but let them not turn again to folly. That's not picking up the clues, man. Let me give you a 10. On down to 10. Mercy and truth are met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed each other. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Yea, Yahweh shall give that which is good, and our land shall yield her increase. Righteousness shall go before him, and shall set us in the way of his steps, which is so very important, man. Come on. What? He's not going. He's going to be faithful no matter what. Psalms 97. Go there, Psalms 97, and I got verse 10, and it reads, ye that love Yahweh hate evil. He persevereth, he preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked. Which he does. But all he's asking for, is he asking for you to give him, he's the first love. This is what Yahawashi said to the church of Thyatira, Pergamos, Laodicea. He told all of them, you forgot your first love. But Smyrna and Philadelphia, he said, y'all, you didn't forget your first love, which is the Most High himself. He's the anchor of all power. And he told you, you can't forget the first love. The first love, Yahawashi is with his Father. He's always kind of told you. He's always said straight off the bat, he said, look, I and my Father are one. We have the same mindset. He said, look, everything I do or anything that I do or try to do, I can only do it if my Father gives me the power to do it. It's not that difficult to understand who the first love is and where it has to come from. Okay, so Psalms 98:3. He hath remembered his mercy and his truth towards the house of Israel. He didn't mention anyone else or any other nation, right? All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our power. They have seen that, and they're seeing it again, and it's happening right in front of your face and right in front of their faces, and there's absolutely nothing they can do about it whatsoever. And they're going to be paying attention. Are you paying attention? Are you clearly? Well, we'll know, and we'll see. Let's see. Let's go to Psalms 107. All right? And we'll see how much attention you're paying. Psalms 107, and we're going to get 43. And it says, whoso is wise and will observe these things, even they shall understand the loving kindness of Yahweh. Read that one again. Whoso is wise and will observe, are you paying attention? And will observe these things, even they shall understand the loving kindness of Yahweh. Right? And we're going to go to Psalms 115 from here. So 115 and 1, and it reads, not unto us, O Yahweh, not unto us, but unto thy name give glory, for thy mercy and for thy truth's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is now their power, their God? But our power is in the heavens. He hath done whatsoever he hath pleased, because he's already set it up, right? So he's letting you know everything's been predetermined. You just have to pick up the clues and stop being spiritually double-minded. Continue to proclaim the Father is in control and already predetermined everything that's happening, and I ain't bitching about it. I'm going to just roll with the punches and go with the wave that he's got going, because that's what he said to do, right? Because his love is beyond what we can imagine. Let's talk about his love a little bit, okay, because we need to, all right? Because his servant, his elect, is so very important, right? And then, we know about the judgment in Jeremiah 30:16. We know about the judgment in Isaiah 4:1. We know what's coming to the Edomite and to the rest of the heathens. We know about what's happening in Ecclesiastes 3:15. The judgment is set, and you cannot move away from it. You cannot get past it. You can't get around it. It's coming. It has to be. It's already been predetermined before the foundation of the world what judgments would happen, what prophecies would ignite and follow through. You cannot change it. Let's roll with the punches. Let's flow with the wave. Let's ride that wave that the Father has as he's kicking ass everywhere all over the entire earthly surface. And let's roll with it and be joyful among it and about it and love it and say, yeah, my Father, YAHAWAH'S, he is the undefeated. No contenders. He's whooping, kicking ass, and he's going to do some more. Man, the Most High, he's going to be, and he's already knocking jokers out like Mike Tyson was when he was in his prime. No one can stand against him. Two arms too short to box with the Most High YAHAWAH'S. Let's go. Let's get back to Scripture. We're going over here. We did the Old Testament. Now we're going to rock with the New, and we're going to bring out YAHWAH'S and Hamashiach and bring some scriptures forth, because the love of the Father is beyond what we can imagine, and we need to be trying to raise the level of praise and worship to him. Matthew chapter 13. Let's get it. Let's get it in. Let's get it in. Matthew 13. We're going to start Matthew 13, and we're going to go ahead and hit 20 and 22, 27. So go with me, and it reads, Matthew chapter 13 and 20. But he that receiveth the seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and among with joy receiveth it. See, that's what I'm saying. Stony places is going to be everywhere. We're going to get stony places all over the place, but you got to receive this with joy. That's what how it has to get down on you, 22. He also that receiveth the seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. See, and this is what the Father is doing. He's doing all this. If he makes you rich, he makes you rich. If he makes you poor, he makes you poor. But he's controlling everything, and we need to continue to proclaim how he is controlling everything at all times in every capacity. This is a benefit to us in order to do so. I'm also going to get 27, and it reads, so the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, Didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then have it tares? Now, the reason why I said this and brought this is because, number one, we know that the Father had the wicked sow the tares through the prophetic process that we have to experience and go through. He had them these tares be sown. He's even told Hosea to marry a harlot. See, there's a lot of different ways that you have to look deeper and think deeper that the Father has actually set in motion, because He's controlling the beginning and the outcome of all phases of prophecy in every capacity. So you shouldn't have an issue with that, no matter what, right? It's like He says here, going back up, pop up on 13-4, and it says here, and when he sowed some seeds, Shalaki, and when he sowed some seeds, fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony, places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up because they had no deepness, right, of earth. See? Now, and then of course I'm gonna give you 6, and then I'm gonna go back and hit 5 because I'm gonna say something. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. Now these stony places where they had not much earth, and they sprung up forth, right, and they looked like they were going to do well, but again they had no deepness. And this has a lot to do with the similitude of the people who the Father has set up to do their portion of the prophecy, the prophetic timeline here at this time. Now, okay, they look like they doing well to do, if you a purple people, man, and you're worth $150 million on this side, or whatever the scenario is, yes or no, up or down, fine, that sounds like, wow, that's really something. Got all these marching men that don't do no scriptures, don't do no videos, don't do no lessons and all this and whatnot. And then you got those that are doing lessons and things that are running around with what ball caps on and t-shirts with fringes and doing stuff and monetizing everything they can. Everything they touch is a marketing ploy. They're scheduled to do this. I remember when I was, much earlier in the truth, and it used to bother me. It irked me, saying, why is the Father allowing them to do this? But then, once He started bringing the revelation that He says, look, I control everything that's going on, and I'm doing this with everything that's moving. Anything that got any kind of life, any kind of spark, any kind of smoke that comes out of the breath of the body, I make it all happen. Father told me, He said, look, I make it all happen. He said, you read it in my scriptures, I'm doing everything. So if I'm doing it all and you can't stop it, what are you supposed to do for me? And I said, what am I supposed to do for you, YAHAWAH'S? And so now you see exactly what He has me doing for Him. He says, I need you to be my faithful singing servant, and I need you to be obedient, and I need you to be an observant. And when I give you something to say, and when I want you to say it a certain way, and if I want you to wait until I want you to say it, then that's when you'll do it. And that's what He has me doing. And nobody's going to tell me to do anything different, because they don't have any power. He has all the power. And in any given second or moment, He could take my spark out of my heart and my breath out of my nostrils and out of my lungs, and then I ain't here no more. And He could do the same thing to you. But why you don't fear that? You fear the edicts of individuals that tell you what the hell to do. Well, guess what? You can still do that and still give the Father the first love. Why don't you try it? Back to the scriptures. Okay, all right, we took it out of care of Matthew 13. Now we're going to go to Ephesians, because that's where He told me to go. He gave me the scripture for that. And, we're going to deal with that a little bit, Ephesians 1. Ephesians chapter 1, and we're going to go 4 through 6. According as He hath chosen us in Him before the foundation. Wow. Foundation. Why did the Father use that term, foundation? According, Shalaki, according, what does that mean? When He says, according He hath chosen us. According is like recording. According is like he already determined it. He has already determined that he had chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. How come nobody ever explains that one? How come no one ever does a breakdown on according as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in what? Love. Now, he's not talking about the love that I broke down in that lesson before when I was speaking about it, and it was said to be love, which is what? Living on volatile emotion. Love. Living on volatile emotion. See, that's carnal. That's a carnality-based process that doesn't work, and it won't stay that way. That's what wacky-tackies and individuals who are surface-level neophytes in terms of understanding and bringing out this truth. They operate off of that level of what they call love, right? That living on volatile emotions, that's not what we do. Not in this truth. Now, seeing this truth, you might be like that, but not in this truth, right? Okay? That's why, according as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestined fire us unto the adoption of children. Predestined. So we're already determined before the foundation of the world. So everything's pre-planned, right? And then he also put in there unto adoption. So if you're predestined and then you're also put in the process of what? Unto adoption of children by Yahawa's HaMashiach. That's a guarantee right there. That's a full-fledged guarantee. You've already been determined before the foundation of creation in the world, and then he's going to make sure that the adoption happens, so you won't escape or get away from being back into your seat of predestination. You're going to be right there because you're already adopted and brought back, right, of children by Yahawa's HaMashiach to himself according to the good pleasure of his will. Now, is it because of you want it? Is it something that you think that you have to have and your lust for what you think you want to hold on to when you what? Still here and think you're going to drag some shit into the new covenant? Some kind of program, some kind of love, some kind of devils? No, you're not. Because they ain't part of the adoption. Okay? And they're not predestined to go into the new covenant and be with you in a righteous body when you have righteous inward parts and you can't put them on pigs and you can't put them on nasty ass devils and all kinds of wicked shit that belongs on the other side of the temple. Profane. Forget about it. Don't get me ranting on you now. Don't get me started. Oh, Father. Having predestined us unto the adoption of children by Yahawa's HaMashiach to himself according to the good pleasure of his will. Not yours and not the shit you think you want. Only what the Father says he wants. That's why he's looking for your love. 6, to the praise. Where's your praise? You know what? Getting praise out of certain Israelites that claim to possibly be in the truth is like, I just can't. It's worse than pulling teeth, man. They don't want to give no praise to the Father. They give him 3 seconds of this, and that's it. How fucking lame is that? You gotta know it's lame. To the praise of the glory of his grace, wherein he hath made us accepted in the beloved. And he tells you, in whom we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins according to the riches of his grace. And this is what? Wherein he hath abound toward us in all wisdom and prudence. And he says, having made unto us us the mystery of his will according to his good pleasure, which hath purposed in himself. Which really means that he, as I said from the beginning, when you were predestined, he specifically created you fearfully and wonderfully in the spirit, and there's no other spirit exactly like you. Even if there could be twins, there's no other spirit as awesome as you are when he created you in love before the foundation of the world. Why can't you just give him the love back and stop being a goddamn carnal puppet and telling people the same shit that you should be telling them something different and telling them something that's edifying and uplifting, and stop worrying about the goddamn bug outs that he's bugging out all over the place. It's his program. It's what he wants to do. It's how he's getting us out of here. If you don't like it, go. I dare you to go in the face of Yahweh and tell him you don't like the way he's taking this shit down. Do it. Show me you got that kind of balls. You want to get in his face and tell him, I don't like the way you're doing this, Most High Yahweh. I want you to stop doing. You little bitches. Stop it. Be a man of the Lord for real. Hey, this is what he told me to tell you. Don't kill the messenger. He told me to tell you this. That was Ephesians 1, 4 through 6. I'm going to go ahead and go to Ephesians 2 while I'm here, because he put on my spirit to do so. Ephesians 2, and I'm going to go with 8 and 9. Be with me on this, okay? Be nice, be with me. 8 and 9. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of the Most High Yahweh, not of works, lest any man should boast. So, why? Why not of works, in case if any man should boast? Because the Father controls everything through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach and the angels. So even the works that you're doing, you still have to fall under the unction of solving the clues in order to get the work done, if the work is going to be done right. In other words, if you're going to do the work, which you're predestined to do anyway, and he's going to keep you on that path if you understand and pick up the clues when the unction of the clue solving process is given to you, then you got to understand when he says to you, for by grace ye are saved through faith, and not of yourselves, it is the gift of Yahweh, not of works, lest any man should boast. Which means if you pick up the clues and you actually stay on path and fulfill the mission and get the things done that he has you predetermined and prescribed to do, that's predestined, then you don't have to boast, because you'll be so busy in tune in solving clues that you won't need to participate in something of that nature. You'll be operating correctly, and you'll be so much more comfortable in the things that you deal with in this world. You know, when I'm sitting back talking, and I and my significant spouse, we're talking about things, and we're getting into it, and I always say, if you look at things from a foundational perspective, only concern that I have there that the Father speaks about is you have to filter it through the Father's foundational understanding of truth, not just basic carnal foundational understanding. It has to be the Father's foundational perspective in truth. So you have to be studied in the Word and know. So when something is being perceived, you're perceiving something or you're receiving something, you can take it through a foundational filter. And when you take it through this foundational filter, you should be able to reciprocate or give a reply or rebuttal or a answer that also has a foundational condentation, which means a foundational wrapped perspective of a good answer back to whoever you're dealing with, or whoever asked you a question, or whatever the case is. So if you take it in through a foundational filter that the Father has infused in your spirit, because the Heavenly Father and the kingdom dwells within us. So if his spirit dwells with you, Hamashiach dwells within you, and you have the mindset and the mind of Hamashiach. When you perceive something, you should do it from a foundational perspective in terms of how you perceive it and receive it. And then when you distribute it and give it back out, you should be able to give a definition that is still foundationally based from the Father's truth back out to whomever or whatever that answer should be given to. This is called spiritual maturity in the process of being able to disseminate that information. And when you're able to do that, you will be at rest in your own stress. Okay, you'll be at rest in your own stress when you're able to do that. And we talk about that in terms of how we perceive things that we're dealing with in the world. We say, okay, the Father is he's doing this now. He controls everything. Okay, okay. Let me perceive why I'm receiving this activity in this way, in terms of how I should respond to it. So when you get it in, or you're receiving it, if you filter it in that way that you know the Father's doing it, and you're perceiving how you're supposed to respond to how you react to it. Now, of course, it takes spiritual training in this capacity in order to be able to operate in that way. It's not something that's just as soon as you come into the truth, you're able to do that. It takes time, study, and it takes an enormous amount of praise, worship, and prayer. You notice I'm saying praise, worship, and prayer, not just prayer, because that's in order for you to filter things that are perceived and coming into you in that truth way, and say, okay, Father is doing this now. This situation is bad, or it looks real bad, or it is real bad, or it's good, or it's real good, or it's really super good, or whatever. You have to perceive everything that comes through that filter, and then when you give it back out, knowing and saying in your mindset and in the way that you operate that he's in control of everything that's going on, and you are a vessel that's being operated within the vassal of prophecy. And when you do that, a lot of your stress will be, you'll be able to address the stress in a better way. Okay, it'll work out where the Father will the clue solving process becomes a lot more sufficient for you in terms of that process in itself. Just wanted to share that with you, but let me get back to scripture. Okay, okay. So we had we already took care of 2, 8, and 9, right? We were in 9. That's right. And not of works, lest any man should boast. And I explained that one. Okay, so now we're going to jump over to John in the New Testament. Of course, we can go to John. And I got just a couple to hit here. We're not going to be too much longer, I don't think. We, probably in, I don't know, I ain't going to gauge it. I'm just going to go with the spirit. All right, I'm gonna start with, what do I want? Oh, yeah, okay, I see. Is that, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go to John 17:9. I got something to hit there. John 17:9, I pray for them, I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. Now, the reason why I went to John 9, the Father was telling me, John 17:9, because Father was relating to me, like I said, filtering things through the Spirit and then giving the answer back in an appropriate way. Everything that Yahawashi is talking to his Father in John chapter 17, everything is related back to the Father. If you really read that with perceived foundational understanding, this whole conversation in red that Yahawashi Hamashiach is having with Yahweh the Father, because he's foundationally, he's giving you all those attributes right there. He's telling you, he's saying that, now, O Father, to be all the way up at the top, glorify thou me with thine own glory, right? Thy own self, Shlaki. Father, glorify me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. It's like before the foundation of the world. So you see, the whole conversation, right? And now, O Father, glorify me with thine own self with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. I have manifest thy name, and unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. See, all of this is so foundationally love, wrapped in love here. This whole chapter in John 17 is foundationally wrapped in the love that the Father tells me that He wants me to express to the selected, elected, and know that we will. This is what He wishes for us to participate in and to practice and be and also apply. This is what He's telling us to apply amongst each other as well as back to Him, right? And then of course He says 7, right? He says, now they have known that all things whatsoever thou hast given me are of thee. See, that's all foundational. If you can receive this, if you can get outside of the things that you have been stamped with or branded with by your organizations and just understand the Father's power and what He's talking about here in terms of foundationally the love that He's given you, that He wishes to receive it, Hamashiach is showing you here. This is why I came here to this, and He gave me this, because this is a mirror that you should be mirroring in Yahawashi Hamashiach. Okay, I don't need to yell and scream at you about this. You need to just hear this in a way I'm distributing it to you. That if you really read this over and over again, in the eye salve, in the spirit of the heart, in the mindset, and you know, in your lob, well, you can see this is foundational. Yahawashi is talking to his Father on the foundational love platform that he was sent here on, that he's given back the honors and the power, because the Father is Yahweh is the only one that rules well through his Son and the angels, and he gets all the praise and the power. Nothing else. And Yahawashi is giving you a perfect example of this right here, foundationally, when he's saying what he's saying here. And now they have known that all things whatsoever thou hast given me are of thee. For I have given unto them the words which thou gavest me, see, from the foundation, and they have received them from the foundation, and have known surely that I came out of thee from the foundation, and they have believed that thou didst send me from the foundation. See, if you can really just put that foundation in there on this is what he's telling me to tell you to do. Start receiving everything from the Father's foundational perspective of truth. This is what he's saying here. That's what the love is about. That's the higher level of love. If you have the filter, okay, all right. Let me give another visual example for people who are just spiritually a little retarded. All right, these glasses that I have, they gave me the ability and the power, just as an analogy, to, when I put them on, I perceive everything from the foundational truth that Yahweh, Bashem Yahawashi, is presenting to me. And when I look out of them, I can give an answer, and I can give a definition to what the prophetic truth and the directives should be for the elect, the selected elect, and potentially for the 1/3 and any individuals that the Father is predetermined to wake up. These glasses, when I put them on, they give me the power to perceive as well as not be deceived, and distribute as well as what I see, the definition and answer back of what's necessary to elevate selected elected. Good analogy. That's what I'm giving you, okay? So you can see if you can understand that. Let's continue with John 17, right? All right. And then, of course, 80 says, for I have given unto them the words which thou gavest me, and they have received them, foundational, and have known surely that I came out of thee, foundationally, and they have believed that thou didst send me, foundationally. So, and now he's saying, I'm going to now distribute and tell them about the love. because that's where we go into 9, because he says, I pray for them. This is the love. I pray not for the world. Why does he not pray for the world? Because number one, the world is a creation. Okay? And this has attributes to go across lines here in terms of world. There are many worlds. And the world of Israel is the only world that matters. So, during the transition of worlds that the Father sent YAHAWAH'S back to recover, he sent his son to recover the world of Israel, to who the covenants have been for from the beginning and who the covenants will be with in the end. No other nation, no other people. Okay? So he prays, he says, the love that you gave me, Father, in creation that brought me into existence, I pray for that love to be expounded upon those that I came to recover, right? So he prays not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. Foundational. And all mine are thine. Still foundational. And thine are mine, foundational, and I am glorified in them. Completely foundational. And now I am no more in the world. Why is he no more in the world? Because he's coming back to recover all of it. But these are in the world, and I come to thee, Father, foundationally. Keep through thine own name those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are. Foundational. While I was with them in the world, I kept them in thy name. That's foundational. Those that thou givest me I have kept, and none of them is lost, but the son of perdition, which was predetermined and predestined to be lost, right? That the scripture might be fulfilled, which it is. And now come I to thee, and these things I speak foundationally in the world, that they might have my joy fulfilled in themselves. Now, how do you have their joy, his joy fulfilled in themselves? Because he's taken everything down, and you should be happy about that. Don't bitch and moan about the fact and the way he's taking it down. That's how we get out of here, right? I have given them thy word foundationally, and the world hath hated them. Why? Because the world doesn't like foundational truth, because it's not universal and it's not inclusive. Okay? All right? But thou, hated them, because they are not of the world. See? Even as I am not of the world. I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, because it's not time, but that thou shouldest keep them from the evil. What is the evil? That is the inability to solve the clues to move forward through the process of graduation to regeneration. Okay? All right? 16. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Right? Because Father sent them to him from the foundation. Sanctify them, purify and cleanse them, then sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. As thou hast sent me into the world, even so have I also sent them into the world. And for their sakes I sanctify myself, purify and cleanse, and they also might be sanctified through the truth, which is what it takes. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word. That's the scattered that he's going to give them the unction and the understanding to be called into the truth, that they all may be one. See, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. Now, when he says the world, he's talking about the world of Israel has sent me, the ones that are still scattered and not understood yet, that they'll be called into the fray of the fold. All right, 22. And the glory which thou givest me, I have given them. That's foundational again, that they may be one even as we are one. Still foundational. See, this is a completely awesome example of how foundational love of the Father is to the elect, selected elect, and on through those that he chose. 23. I in them and thou in me, and they may be made perfect, cleansed and purified in one, and that the world may know, the world of Israel, who are still not awake yet, know that thou hast sent me and hast loved them as thou hast loved me. See, that's why this lesson is what it says, right? It says Yahawah's foundational love, right? For what? For the selected, elected, and the chosen, which happened to be Israel. All right? Father, I will that they also whom thou hast given me, foundational, be with me where I am, back to perfect in the foundational, that they may behold my glory. What is the glory? The set apart portion of the righteousness that will be put in us that no other nation will ever be able to have a part of or touch, right? Which thou hast given me, for thou lovest me before the foundation of the world. You can't tell me this is not a complete foundational, total chapter here for this particular understanding in this. This is what this lesson is telling you. O righteous Father, the world hath not known thee. See, they don't know him. If you don't stay sacred to the name, only his name, then you don't know him. But I have known thee, and these have known that thou hast sent me, foundational. I have declared unto them thy name, and will declare it, that the love wherewith thou hast loved me may be in them, and I in them. See, John chapter 17, it blankets and cross references anything and tears down any Trinity, tears down any universalism. It tears all that up. It just tears it up. It goes and pierces right through the heart of Deuteronomy 28. But none of them are spiritually trained to understand and give this out. The apostles tried to give them this information, but they fell off into their derivatives because of their lust for the ability to want to be put on a pedestal. This is what these derivatives and these offshoot organizations are. They all want to be popular. They all want to be so, look at me, I'm so pretty, look at me, I'm so awesome. You know, they want to do all that when that's not what it's about. And their foundational filter is not there for them. They don't get it. And they're not supposed to get it, at least not yet. Okay? I got a couple more with John while I'm here. Let me go to John. A couple quick precepts I had pulled up. John 6, and I'm going to read 37. All that the Father, John chapter 6, verse 37, all that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. He's telling you right there, you can't be, the Father has to give someone to him. You can't go to him. All them wacky tackies talking about, oh, you gonna turn your life to Jesus. Man, get out of here with that. Yeah, you go turn your life to Jesus, because that ain't who we follow. We follow Yahawashi, Hamashiach, back to the Father, Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahushai. We ain't following Cesare Boger. You can go do that. We don't do that. 6:44. No man can come to me except the Father, Yahawah, which hath sent me, draw him, Yahawashi, and I will raise him up at the last day. So if you ain't coming because Yahawah sent you to Yahawashi, who he accepted you and then validated that you came from the Father, your ass ain't raising. So get out of here with that. It ain't going to happen. All right. Romans. I ain't got very many more to go. We're getting close, so just bear with me. Romans 8. So go with me in Romans 8. And I got starting at 28. And it reads, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahawah, to them who are the called according to his purpose, for whom he did foreknow, foundational, he also predestined, foundational, to be conformed, foundational, to the image of his son, foundational, that he might be the firstborn, foundational, among many brethren. And then 30, moreover, whom he did predestine, foundational, them he also called, foundation, and them who he called, foundational, them he also justified, foundational, and whom he justified, foundational, them he also glorified, foundational and future predestination. Okay? See, Luke, we're going to Luke. Luke 10, Luke chapter 10, Luke chapter 10. And he gave me, 22? And it reads, all things are delivered to me of my Father. This is Yahawashi speaking. And no man knoweth who the Son is. Why is that? Because you don't understand him foundationally. But the Father, and who the Father is but the Son, and he to whom the Son will reveal him. Argue with that. Bring the demons. Can't argue with that. We're going to Acts 13. Acts 13. And I'm going to go to 48. And it reads, and when the Gentiles heard this, they were glad and glorified the word of the Lord, and as many as were ordained to eternal life believed. Now, just because it says Gentiles, got to remember, when this was written or scribed before the Septuagint, there was no Gentile connotation of a word to explain. But this Gentile only refers to the scattered Israelites that were Hellenized, Hellenista, the Grecia, that didn't know that they were, and if they did know, they needed to be converted and brought back into the fold. So just make sure we clear on that. This is not just because a couple of Edomite devils was in the area and they heard Paul speaking about this, and then at some point they thought that they could, incorporate it or inherit it or just kind of like adopt it. No, you can't. This is not for you. And that's what they do. That's why you're not supposed to debate these people. You don't be out there when you're out on the highways, highways, or wherever you are, and if they come up to you, don't start a conversation 50 feet off the ground talking scripture that they feel like they want to challenge you on because they feel like they have some universal adoption that belongs to them that they could be involved in speaking to you about this. Shut it down quick and get them out of there. Look at them. Just look at them like you out of your goddamn mind. What are you doing here? Like, why are you here? No, I don't care what you heard. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Kick rocks. Keep it moving. Don't even do that. Give them a foundational question and then let them go, because they'll be befuddled anyway once you give them a real foundational question. If you should even spare them that, depending on what the hell they say. So no, don't entertain that. That was Acts 13:48, right? So now I'm going to. I had 2 Timothy on my list. That's right. I got 1st and 2 Timothy. Okay. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's get 2 Timothy first, and then we'll do 1 Timothy after that. Or I could go first and second. Okay. Well, this is how he gave it to me. I'll go with this. 2 Timothy, and I want 1. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 9. Okay, and it reads, who hath saved us and called us with an holy calling, not calling to our works, but according to his own purpose and grace, which was given us in Hamashiach Yahawashi before the world began. So this is still foundational. See, this is where he kept bringing me back to scriptures and precepts that kept telling us, foundationally, you got to get my selected, elected to start understanding they need to give me more love and praise from a foundational perspective. And that's what he keeps pounding on me, and that's why I keep saying this. So if it's getting on your nerves, okay, so what? I don't care. First Timothy, okay? Shalaki. Let me go to Timothy 1. And this is First Timothy 1, Shilaki. First Timothy, my bad. First Timothy chapter 5, my bad. I should have looked at my notes a little closer. First Timothy chapter 5, and I'm starting at 21, and I'm going to get 22, 23, 24, 25. First Timothy chapter 5, starting at 21. I charge thee before Yahweh and the Lord, Yahushua Hamashiach, and the elect angels, see, that thou observe these things without preferring one before another, doing nothing by partiality. Lay hands, lay hands suddenly on no man, neither be partakers of other men's sins. Keep thyself pure. Drink no longer water, but use a little wine for thy stomach's sake and thy often infirmities. Some men's sins are open beforehand, going before to judgment, and some men they follow after. Likewise, also the good works of some are manifest beforehand, and they that are otherwise cannot be hid. So, in essence, the Father is through Hamashiach Yahushua is letting you know that he doesn't want any partiality in the way that you handle the receiving of and the perceived understanding of his foundational truth and the way that he's doing everything. So as you see this, you don't have to lay hands suddenly on anyone or partake of any other man's sins, and you keep yourself pure by filtering information that comes into you from that truth standpoint and perspective. When you perceive it, you take it through the filter of the Father's foundational truth, and this way you won't participate in anything that will cause you harm in that fashion, and it shouldn't anyway. And it says, drink no longer water. Now, the water that he's talking about is not the water of life that he's given, because the water that he's talking about is this water of carnality in the world. You have to be very careful in perceiving what you take in from that, because it creates a lustful thirst. You get a thirst for lust when you take in the water of the world in that way, and he doesn't wish you to do that, okay? But use a little bit of wine for thy stomachs. Now, remember, Yahushua changed the water into wine, which made it a purified process, because wine goes through a fermenting process, and the fermenting process gives you the process of regeneration or cleansing to that portion, and it actually heals. That's why it says it's good for your infirmities, okay? Some men's sins are open beforehand, meaning that they're not perceiving the foundational truth in the right way. That's why I went back to saying before that they have misguided communication when it comes to things that are carnal, and then the application of spiritual, delivering the prophecy through spiritual truth. They become unbalanced in that process, and when they become unbalanced, then you have the beforehand of sins that you're participating in, going before to judgment. In other words, you get a lot of people that they look at you in a carnality based perspective, and they say, I don't like him. He light skinned, got curly, nice hair, and I hate him. Or she pretty and she got long, beautiful hair, and she light skinned, I hate her. Or I don't like her because her body is this and my body ain't. See, this is predetermined judgments of wickedness, that you shouldn't have these carnal levels of lust in yourself that exude out of you like this. That's not filtering stuff through the truth that Hamashiach Yahushua you should be participating in. And of course, likewise also the good works of some are manifest beforehand, and they that are otherwise cannot be hid. Now, how does that happen? Well, some of us already have a spirit predestined and put in us by Yahweh Shai that we treat people in a very balanced way as much as possible. And of course, we get abused, we get used, we get taken advantage of, and then we sometimes we take it a little hard, and we want to retaliate, but we learn that we shouldn't, because we understand the Father controls all things, and if He didn't want someone to take advantage of us or get the best of us at that point in time, He wouldn't have let it happen. Because a lot of times we learn a lesson to train and teach someone else how to deal with something that's less fortunate in understanding, filtering the truth. So then that's how you train someone in the spirit. Because if you go through it and you get through it the right way that YAHAWAH'S instructed you to go through, you can offer that level of training if it's happened enough. And I can clearly say I've been in that capacity, humbly saying so, and so has those that love me and I love them. So that's the way it goes. We're getting close to wrapping everything up. It ain't gonna be much longer. Where was I going next? Did I do John 14? That was Timothy and First Timothy, and I did that one. I think I wanted to get to John 14. I didn't want to miss that, because I see I put it on the side there. So the Father wanted me to go to John 14. It was 21 and 24. All right, 21, John chapter 14, 21 and 24, and it reads, "He that hath my commandment and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him and will manifest myself to him." Right? And so the Father is telling you right off the bat in 24, "And he that loveth me not, keepeth not my sayings, and the word which he here is not mine, but the Father's which sent me." See, so Yahushua is still telling you foundationally everything starts and ends with the Father. Okay, begins and ends with the Father. And then now we're going to just go into finishing off everything here, because we're getting close to my timeline anyway. We got about 3 or 4 more precepts to go, and then we'll be done. We're going to go to Isaiah. We're going back to the Old Testament, Isaiah, and I'm going to chapter 42. So Isaiah 42. We're getting ready to wrap it up. Just bear with me. And we're reading verse 1. "Behold my servant whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles." And that's, of course, to the scattered Israelites that don't necessarily know, but if they do know, they may not be participating in the way that they're receiving foundational truth, and they're not filtering it correctly or bringing it out. So, behold, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has put my spirit, whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth, and he only determines that, because this is the Most High's promise concerning his servants, okay? "And I have put my spirit upon him, and he shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street." You hear that? He shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. All right? "A bruised reed shall he not break, and the smoking flax shall he not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. He shall not fail nor be discouraged till he hath set judgment in the earth, and the isles shall wait for his law." Okay? "Thus saith Yahweh, just saith power, Yahweh, he hath created the heavens and stretched them out. He hath spread forth the earth and that which cometh out of it, and he that giveth breath unto the people upon it, and spirit to them that walk therein. I, Yahweh, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles." That's the scattered. Okay? All right. And of course, read the rest of that on down, the rest of the chapter on down. Just FYI, I'm not going to go that far in it because I got a couple more precepts to go. I'm going to go to 45, Isaiah 45 and 4. For Jacob my servant's sake, and for Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by name, by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no power beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none else beside me. I am Yahweh, there is none else. I form the light, I create darkness, I make peace, I create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. And now we're going to go to 65, same chapter, same book. Let me see. Yeah, right here, 65. Isaiah 65 and 9. And it reads, and I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, an inheritor of my mountains, and mine elect shall inherit it, and my servant shall dwell there. Okay? Same chapter 22 to finish up. They shall not build and another, and Shalaki, they shall not build and another inhabitant, they shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall be long, shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble, for they are the seed of the blessed of Yahweh, and their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and the dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, saith Yahweh. Kol Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Rekak with us Thwada Yahweh Thwada Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Shalaki Yahweh, for my sins as I cry. Call on Yahweh, Vashim Yahweh, Baba Yahweh, for your mercy all the time. Oh, Yahweh, Bashim